Hello and welcome to another episode of Pedagogy Pods, and I'm here with a very special guest. As you can see, this is a very dear friend of mine, and I don't know what we would do without each other back in Pathways. Isn't it, Vasudha?
Yes, yes.
Let me at least introduce her. Meet Dr. Vasudha Nilmani, and I'll let her introduce herself because she's beyond introduction. So go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Minakshi, for inviting me to this podcast of yours.
Pleasure.
And you want me to talk about myself? Okay. So my first introduction is that I started my career as a special educator, and there Minakshi and I bonded. Well, we were in same class. I was a special needs teacher there, but it's been 30 years into the journey of education. But past 20 years have been dedicated to international education, and I feel that being a lifelong learner is what we tell our students to do. So I have tried to follow that path. So in that journey of international education, I have been a Cambridge trainer, Cambridge program leader. I'm a life coach, career coach, do a lot of things related to students learning, pedagogical things. I'm a Cambridge ambassador also, and latest, I'm doing something related to Minakshi's field, as I say. So I've just joined a course with ISB with leadership with AI.
Awesome. Didn't I tell you she has like a whole thing? You know what I know her best as? She has that zest for learning. She's hungry to learn more. Like she said, lifelong learning. I don't know how long these lives are, but then you know what? Don't just stop learning because that's most important. That's one thing I think we had in common. And while we were way back in Pathways, the minute she said that, I remember her and me being in the same class, a class of 20 students and 4 special needs students. God knows how we managed that.
Yes.
But it still makes us smile and laugh. So yes, these are good memories. So we are here today to share all those memories, all the way to share, you know, don't just call it a special needs department or educator or student. Make it much more generic, make it much more normal. And let's just deal with it like, you know, we're dealing with a student who needs a little bit extra help than others.
Absolutely.
So I'll let her define what defines special needs education, and then I'll jump in.
See, special needs education has also evolved a lot, thankfully, I would say that. So the knowledge about the special needs field that was not there at that time. And back in 1993, I had the pleasure to work with Dr. Onita Nakra. She was a very big name with the children with learning disability. And she had picked me from a workshop that she had done, and she offered me a job. So I still remember back then I was unmarried, so I used to go from West Delhi to North Delhi. They were in my school was there.
Wow.
Then North Delhi to South Delhi in the evenings, because Dr. Nakra used to pay me well, and I used to take care of the students. So then I specialized in learning disability. I specialized in Asperger's and autism. So I think that was somewhere to deal with little more challenging students, where other teachers used to feel that, oh, we give up, you know, it is very tough. But I think it is all that connect and passion of whatever we are doing. And I know that my children loved me, and I still love my children. And you'll be surprised that 1 or 2 of the students with who had Down syndrome, so they are still in touch with me.
Just imagine, that's how a teacher touches your life, and imagine they're still in touch with you. That is awesome. You know, Vasudha, I just discovered you and I have this also in common. We've never spoken about it, and you know, here we are sitting on our couch and talking. I too was actually in a workshop where I presented a few things, where amongst the whole community, we had about 35 to 50 audience, I guess. And that's where I was invited to become a trainer. And that's where journey of the pedagogics began.
Wow.
So just imagine we had that in common, and good we at least realize that. But yeah, I mean, why this happens is because I think we speak a lot from our heart, right? What we do, we literally feel it when we do it. And when you say about, when you talk about special needs, I always feel that every student in my class has a special need,
Yeah.
right? Every student has a different set of abilities, and I wouldn't call them disabilities, I would say challenges,
Yeah.
right? So I have to tweak my lesson every day to meet the needs of every student. So why should any other student be different? Probably a little more help, but I must tell you, while we carefully tread that path, there were many moments where we had light moments. So let's not make it too heavy. Let me just invite Vasudha to share one of the light moments that you had, or maybe, one of the moments that's like, that just where you had to burst into laughter with your student on something.
So do you remember, Meenakshi, we had 4 students in
Yeah.
our class,
Yeah.
and one of the students was always, bubbly, chubby,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
moving around the classroom. And I still remember that I was just being little firm with him and angry with him. And I remember he made that puppy face and said that, you don't look nice when you scream at me. Why can't you just smile? And I was actually, because he had not submitted his work for a very long time, and I was just, after him. But that really brought a smile to my face, that he knew how to. And then he used to ask me that, oh, will this puppy face work with you now? So that was, I found it very cute at
Who
that.
says, children are not smart? Look at that. They really know how to catch your right nerve. And there you go. He struck a right chord with you. Absolutely. Moments like these really remain with us all our lives. And the moments where there are achievements, but there are moments where we have faced real challenges. But the beauty was overcoming that challenge. Would you remember any of those instances? I remember one, but you go ahead and then I'll tell.
And so there are many, and I would not say that that was just of pathways,
Yeah.
but it was before. So I again, there are sometimes, parents overprotect their children.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So there was a student whom I was dealing with in my assignment before pathways, and somehow being a disciplinarian, or being calling right, and guiding him, that didn't go well with the mother or with the parents. And then they created some issue, and the child took a withdrawal from that school, and I also left that school. But I feel, that was one of the most challenging moments, because the father understood that two wrongs never make a right. But mother was very, very protective, overprotective of the child. And then unfortunately, we came to know later on the child had become very aggressive. So you have to tackle or nip the things in the bud, I always tell the parents. So yes, and there are the challenges, I think, still continue. If I don't want to make it very harsh or very, strong or heavy, but I think if I can just tell the parents around, if any parent is watching, that if you have trusted your child with a particular school, trust that. Trust the teachers, trust the environment, because helicopter parenting does not work.
No, I would so agree with you. Vasudha, also, they spend 8 hours in school with us. We know the kind of protected environment that they get at home. And while in our classes, when they are with other students, 20, 30, 40 other students, the environment is very different.
Obviously.
Therefore, the trust factor has to come in. And I believe it also begins with, like you said, it also begins with a partnership between the parent and the teacher. And if that is not made before you start dealing with a child, I think somewhere, if you know they won't trust you, you're going to land in the wrong
Like,
place.
I loved what you said, that every child is special. So what happens, fortunately, in international education, whether it is Cambridge, whether it is IB, whether it is any international education, the student teacher ratio is very less.
True.
So when there are 22 students in your classroom, you can just follow the differentiated learning so beautifully, the personalized learning so beautifully, and you exactly know that what your child needs. And there, you know, if we have so-called those children who need that extra help, so they are also taken care of.
No, that is very true. But you see, I mean, for us, majority of the schools have about 40 students sitting in the classroom. I'm just being very generous by saying 40, you know that, right? How do we ask the teachers, or how do we expect the teachers to be sensitive? How can they deal with it without really getting into the sensitive space?
So I'll tell you, back there in 2000, 25 years, 27 years, 24 years ago, I would say. So I was in Mumbai. My husband had got a job there, and I just joined a school just for the heck of it as a co-teacher of pre-primary. And we were two of us. And do you know how many students we had in our classroom? Of the teeny minis? I dealt with 75 of them.
Wow.
75 three and a half year old kids, and sometimes
Hats off to you guys.
and sometimes the teacher used to be absent because we were two of us dealing with. So every day without fail, I used to write 300 notebooks.
Oh my God.
75,
wow.
150 classwork, 150 homework, and then the special educator in me, I used to say that, okay, why A should be for apple, why can't A for ant, arrow and things. So I'm talking about 24
Yeah,
years ago,
correct.
the thing. And then I used to create, you know, the pictorial thing and draw. And I know my colleagues then used to hate me for this, because then, you know, they were also
It's more
pressurized.
work.
It's more work. It's more work.
Let's face it,
But
who
it's-
likes more work,
it's,
right?
but you know, when I always feel that if we are in the field of education, so it means we are with the children.
Yes.
So when we are children, if we don't love children, if we don't have that passion for the children,
don't be in
if
it.
we don't want to see their twinkling eyes and with lot of notice, that does not melt us.
Yeah.
So I think we are in the wrong profession.
No, you're
So
absolutely
when you know, when these 75 of them, I used to go in the class and they used to come running saying, you know, good morning. So whatever stress you are having, it just used to go away. But yes, so anything, any profession, when we do out of passion, so I think those challenges, or I would say those different times, they pass.
You know, I can't agree more, because I remember even if it were 20 students, those 4 students in our class, each one of them had their own different needs. There were no two challenges that were same or similar any day. So one of the things that I always say is have a connect with your students.
Oh, yes.
If you don't have a connect, they will not respond to you. So I think I mentioned it in another pod as well, but I'll re-mention it here. One of my students always looked in the wall, at the wall in front of him. He would never have an eye contact. You remember, right? He had this ability to grasp everything even while he was not looking at you, and he would always feel, I think he's distracted. He's not looking at me. He was listening to everything that we were saying,
yes,
and he
yes.
was grasping. So I feel that, you know, let them be, have a connect, have an understanding. Do keep your checks to see whether this one is, you know, really listening or not. I also feel, why is it limited to only students? You know, I deal with teachers and I
Oh,
do
yes.
trainings, and the challenges are completely different. I wouldn't call them special needs, right? But those needs are so different that in a crowd of about 50, I've dealt with 100, 200, 300 people. No two are same, right? Yet, your approach remains the same for everybody, because you need the entire lot to move in your direction, your way, and also have a connect. So my simple rule is that even if you give me 200 teachers, do not give me more than 6 to 7 teachers on a table. To me, that is one group. Even if they are different in a group, on a table, they just start mingling.
Yeah.
You pick up mixed abilities, put them together, there has to be some bond that is made. And that's where, we start bringing down our own challenges. Imagine 300, you remember this time in DIDAC? I had about 300, 400 people in the room, about 6 to 7 people on a table, and we had so many tables, and I couldn't even look at a few. Yet, we had the grasp on the audience because of the way we were dealing with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And teachers also, in the end, there are human beings. They can make errors. It happens,
And please do,
and
because that's
please
where
do.
you start learning.
But having said that, the moment that error is done, we just start looking down upon them, saying, "Oh, you can't do correction well. You can't do that." That's fine. That's a human error. Of course, the mistake should not be repeated. The other important aspect, which I always tell my teachers, is that two things, that you have to have a growth mindset.
Yeah.
Because our teachers, when we were students, they had that fixated approach that we know everything.
True.
So unfortunately, that fixed approach now is not going to work.
Thankfully.
Because of few reasons. One reason is that when we talk about technology, when we talk about, forget about technology, we are talking about AI, we are talking about metaverse, we are talking about so many things. So teachers have to be in sync with them, because the other thing is, you will agree with me, though your daughters are grown up and mine is just 16, but then also these kids of Gen Z and alpha generation, the now generation, they are born with high metacognitive skills, and we as educators, we as their teachers, we have to match them.
We are
slow, and we have to channelize their metacognition in the right manner. So this is very, very important. So I think I tell the teachers also that when you are entering into classroom, if you feel your students are a clean slate, think yourself also that you are a clean slate, and absorb, learn from each other. Otherwise, then, if they don't get, so they feel that technology is going to replace them. But I feel that, if they are not in sync with what is happening, then it is going to be challenging for them.
On that note, I have to say, this was the most powerful line, I think, in the entire talk that we've had. Stay a learner, be a learner. And I'm going to thank Vasudha, Dr. Vasudha Nilpani. She can never be that funny. But thank you, Vasudha, for coming to us. She is not just a special needs leader, school leader, education leader, but also a learning leader. So thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure.
And let's
thank you.
keep making good things. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you.